So, I've done the why. I want to now move on to maybe challenge your thoughts, your management model, and put up something that's potentially slightly contentious that I'd like you to read. Okay, so 30 years ago, Matsushita, who was head of the Victor company, in other words Panasonic, JVC, predicted that the Japanese would outperform both UK and US manufacturers. I'll invite you in about 5-10 minutes to discuss in pairs whether you think that is contentious or not, and potentially come back to me at the end to see if we want to knock it about a bit more. But what he's saying was, actually, the reason they were going to outperform us, the reason they were going to be more competitive, the reason they were going to produce better products was because of our management thinking, our management model, the way we think about management and leadership. What Mazzaro says is actually we don't learn management from textbooks, we don't learn our management style, we don't learn our leadership style from textbooks, we adopt it. So the organizations we go into work, we adopt the practices of the leaders that are already in that organization. And hence the model that we've got tends to be an adapted one, yes, but largely adopted. And so you could see why potentially, if you come down on the side of the fence that I do, that suggestion, that contention made by Matsushita was probably correct. And we do, I think, need to challenge the model, the management model, the leadership model that we've got in this country. And what Hamill suggests in an AIM publication and Advanced Institute of Management is that unless we start to challenge that management model, we're not going to be as innovative as we could be. In fact, he says it's actually those organizations that challenge their business model, the way they deliver the service, the way they think about the way they deliver the service, and I think Confused might be a good example of that, are those organizations that tend to outperform the sectors, tend to be the more innovative organizations and develop the innovative products and services. Okay, an example I'm going to give, or the example I'm going to give in this short presentation is Toyota. I'm jumping from electronic consumer goods, I know, into manufacturing. And I started or did a part of this presentation initially about 2 weeks ago down in Swansea. As I was driving down there, the news came on about 180,000 recalls. Can't change it now. But thankfully, later on in that news item, they also mentioned the 2.1 billion profit they made in the third quarter of last year. So, sometimes you have to take the rough with the smooth. And then last night, or yesterday, I think I was reading something, and they actually had Toyota himself, the grandfather or grandson of the founder, apologising that they'd possibly grown too fast. And that was where the error had crept in. So I'm not going to apologise for it. I will point out that they started way behind everyone else in a mature industry with less resources and much less of a market share and a virtually unknown brand, and have significantly outperformed both US and UK manufacturers. So that's my example of a better management or leadership paradigm or model. And I'll use a chap called Spear now to illustrate or to explain what they do that's different and how their management model is different. So what Spear says is that the Toyota model, the Japanese management model in general, although he also points to other areas where you can find this, is that they actually engage the workforce. So the management model is not about managers, leaders telling the workforce what to do and how to do it. They engage the workforce in making suggestions around products, suggestions around changing the process, and suggestions around actually the value offering, the customer offering. And it's that has allowed them to outperform the other manufacturers in that sector. Okay. Now that's a difficult thing to explain. It's fairly abstract as a concept. So what I want to do is show you a quick clip and then come back to what Spear's talking about and hopefully make this visual metaphor work for you and take it from the abstract to something that's real. So I'll let you watch this for a couple of minutes, and then hopefully that'll explain what Spear's talking about and give us another example that we can